Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Woolcock here. It's Friday, it's 2:30. That can only mean one thing. It's time for this week's Learning Celebration Assembly. Now, obviously it's half term this week, so that means things might be a little bit different in this assembly, but we'll find out in a second. I've got some very exciting news to share with you in the winners of the Rainbow Art competition that the Penpol Friends have organised. I'll share that at the end. And I've got some really great learning to share with you all this week, which I hope you'll enjoy. Again, I'll tell you a tiny bit about my week. I've been enjoying a lot of time in the garden. I've been doing a bit of sunbathing, a bit of gardening. I popped into school yesterday to have a look at the new carpet in the Mac suite, which was as exciting as my week got. And yeah, I've been quite chilled this week, which is nice. Hopefully you've all been able to relax a little bit as well and enjoy that nice half-term break that you all deserve so much. Okay, enough of me rambling on. I think it's time now to have a look at some of the amazing learning that's been shared this week. Okay, we'll start as always with Year 3, and let's have a look at what they've been doing this week. Oh, okay, we'll try Year 4, see if there's anything that's been shared by Year 4 this week. Year 5? Oh dear, I tell you what, this might be a very short Showbie learning assembly, because quite honestly, it's half term and we've not been doing any learning. Or have we? Hang on. Oh. I wonder, boys and girls, if we could have a look at some of the things that the staff at Penpol School have been doing over half term. Would you like to have a look at what they've been doing over half term? I can't hear you, so I'm guessing you're saying no, and we'll end the assembly here. You know what, I'll show you anyway, because it's quite good fun, and I spent a long time organising emails to make this work, so let's have a look at what the staff of Penpol School have been doing this half-term. So we'll start off with Mrs. Bailey, and Mrs. Bailey has been practising her art skills and her drawing, and you'll see from these she's been doing some really lovely pattern drawing. If we have a little zoom in on that one, have a look at the lovely colours and the detail. Well done, Miss Bailey, that's a lovely piece of learning, and thank you for sharing that with us. Mrs. Stanlake has been getting very creative with her felting, and she's made some lovely animals here for Noah. And if we have a little look, you've got an elephant, a monkey, a zebra, and I think my favourite is a giraffe. Really cute though, Mrs. Stanlake. Thank you again for sharing. What a lovely thing you've been learning over half term. Oh, here we go, Miss Seddon. Now, Miss Seddon's been very much enjoying taking her dog for a walk on the beaches and going cycling a lot. So she's been practising her cycling all around Cornwall, I imagine, and getting some really lovely fresh air in the sunshine. It looks like a great day out on the beach as well, doesn't it? Mr. Jones. Now, Mr. Jones has been very busy in his garden. Have a look at this. He has been building this over half term. Doesn't that look amazing? Like a little playhouse, perhaps? I like the slide down the front as well. Mr. Jones, that's some excellent learning. Thank you for sharing. Mrs. Turner, again, someone who's been getting quite creative and arty. Mrs. Turner has been doing some rainbow drawings of her own, and if we have a little zoom in, just look at the beautiful, vibrant colours going on in these pictures. Aren't they absolutely stunning? Now, I wonder if Mrs. Turner was inspired by some of the rainbow art entries. We'll have a look at those later. I reckon she was probably quite inspired by those. Okay. Here we go. Mrs. Suxian in Year 1. She has got a new addition to her family in the form of this rather adorable goat. Now, I can't unfortunately remember what the goat was called. I know it was in the email she sent me, so I do apologise for not knowing the name of the goat, but I feel sure you could ask her when we come back to school. Mrs. Woolcock, someone that I know quite well. Mrs. Woolcock has been getting really crafty over half term, and she has started making some craft pictures out of offcuts of fabric. So if we zoom in here, look, you might be able to see all the different fabrics making up the waves and the hills, and the same over there. I might be a bit biased, but I really like them. I think they're absolutely lovely, Mrs. Woolcock. Well done. Now Mrs. Thomas has been getting very busy doing some knitting. We've got a couple of examples here, and I'm told there are lots more that she's been working on. And we can see here, look, that she's been making some really lovely knitted objects. I don't know how you got the patience to do that. I think I would really struggle to have the patience to do that, but don't they look lovely? Really great, Mrs. Thomas, thank you. Caroline. Now, Caroline has spent a lot of her time over half term making these wonderful wooden ornaments. So we've got some beautiful boats along here, look. You can imagine them bobbing along in Hale Harbour, perhaps. And she's also done a few commissions of buildings in St Ives. This is the Lifeboat Inn. I just am staggered by how detailed that is, Caroline. What a wonderful project you've been doing, and some great learning as well that you're able to share with us. So thank you for taking the time to share that. Mrs. Lamb. Mrs. Lamb has been very creative. She's getting the wool out, the felt. She's been making a lot of pom-poms over here. But also, have a little look at that little felted chick. Isn't that absolutely adorable? With his long little legs there. That's really lovely, Mrs. Lamb. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Mrs. Broadbridge. So Mrs. Broadbridge has been busy in her garden, and we've got a nice picture of the wall that she's painted here and some of the plants. But she's also really been enjoying some of the musicals that are being shared every week on YouTube. So I think she watched The Sound of Music quite recently. And I think if you haven't seen those yet, a lot of theatre companies and Andrew Lloyd Webber are sharing musicals every week, or stage productions, and some of those are really good, so that's maybe worth checking out. Thank you, Mrs. Broadbridge. Looks like you've been really busy. Mrs. Pope would appear here to be holding a very large hammer, quite a scary look in her face, and not much of a wall left behind her. So I think Mrs. Pope has had quite an eventful half-term, demolishing that wall in her garden. She does look a little bit terrifying there, but I know she's a lot more friendly than that normally, and she doesn't tend to take her hammer that many places with her, so that's probably a good thing. But what a fun afternoon that looks like, Mrs. Pope. I'm hoping now there's a lovely bit of garden there or something, perhaps, where that wall used to be. I'm sure it's been knocked down for a reason, and I'd love to hear perhaps what's going to be there instead. Mrs. Peck has been learning to do trampolining, and she's been teaching her dog to join her on the trampoline. If you have a little zoom in there, look. Looks like a lot of fun bouncing around there, Mrs. Peck, and I think your dog is very much enjoying that as well. That's lovely to see. And Mr. Peck, while this has been going on, has been doing a lot of DIY and a lot of gardening as well. Here you can see a really nice vegetable bed. I think they perhaps are pea plants growing up on there, on some nice canes that he's built. So hopefully Mr. Peck will be the person to go to if you want some vegetables this autumn. And Mrs. Ruffell has been learning how to do dog grooming. So Mrs. Ruffell has got the clippers there, and she's given her dog a nice trim and a very fancy hair accessory ponytail dog thing on the dog's head. I don't know what you call that, but doesn't that look lovely? Okay, Mrs. Neve has been doing a lot of woodworking in her garden, and this table here, she has been building herself, and I think that is really clever. Look at the amazing finish on that table. It looks like you may have bought that from a garden centre or something. And over here she's built some planters, and I wonder what's growing in there. Maybe cucumber plants, possibly? Runner beans, maybe? But lots of lovely outdoor projects there, Mrs. Neve. It looks like you've learned a lot of carpentry skills as well, so a great use of your half-term. Now Mrs. Nidds has been doing some baking. And these are a few of the cakes Mrs. Nidds has made over the last couple of weeks, not all in half-term, I don't think. Don't they look absolutely delicious? I think my problem will be knowing which one to have first. Ooh, they look delicious. I'm hoping Mrs. Nidds will make cakes for us when we come back to school, because she's very good at making cakes. Thank you, Mrs. Nidds. Mr. Chislett. Now, Mr. Chislett has been doing two really exciting things over half-term. First of all, he's been enjoying the beautiful Cornish landscape, so he's been going for walks on the beaches and around the cliffs and getting really out into nature. And he's been practicing his piano skills. So he's been tinkling the ivories, is that what they say on the piano? Maybe. He's been playing the piano and learning some new songs, and I would imagine perhaps during an assembly he'll play those to you when we get back to school. Now, Mr. Wise has been learning jewellery making. You may not know this about Mr. Wise, but he has been doing this for a little while now, and the stuff he makes is absolutely beautiful. If I just zoom in on a couple of these pieces, they're absolutely lovely, aren't they? You can completely imagine walking into like a jewellery shop and seeing those and paying quite a lot of money for them, I'd imagine. Absolutely lovely, Mr. Wise, and thank you for sending those in to share with us all, because I think it's lovely to see what everyone does in their own time, what we learn and what hobbies we have. It's really interesting, and they are absolutely amazing. They're beautiful. Miss Nidds has been practising her cross-stitch over half-term. So we've got a few different pictures here. Obviously, you've got a lovely Winnie the Pooh, got a nice quote, and a really lovely kitchen scene that she's done as well. I don't know how you do cross-stitch, I don't know how you get all the different colours in the right place and how you make everything look so good. That's a real skill that you've learned there, Miss Nidds. And again, thank you for taking the time to send that in and share it with our assembly today. Miss Whear has had a really busy few weeks, and she's helping the community. A lot of staff at the moment are getting involved in their local communities, and Miss Whear has done some amazing stuff by cooking meals, delivering it to local residents who perhaps can't go out at the moment to get their own food, and she's been taking her bike out to deliver these meals to people all over the place. I think that is such a lovely thing to do with our time at the moment, to be able to help others. And Miss Whear, thank you for sending those in, because it's lovely to see how engaged you are with the local community and to remind us all at the moment that we should be looking to help others if we're able to. And I think that's such a powerful message. So thank you for sharing those. Now, Miss Holcroft has sent in this picture of some shells that she's been collecting. And I must admit, I can't remember the name of the type of shell, but she told me in the email. But every time she goes out for a walk, she keeps an eye out for these particular types of shells. And I think she's got nearly 40 so far. And they're all from different walks that she's been on. So not only is that a lovely collection of shells, but I imagine it's a lovely reminder of some of the travels and the walks that she's been on in the local area. Thank you for that, Miss Holcroft. Mr. Stanlake has been getting very, very crafty in the garden, a bit like Mr. Jones. And Mr. Stanlake has been building a lot of stuff out of wood and pallets in his garden. So we can see here that he has built a shed, a back patio area, and this lovely swing set. There are some of the pallets he's used, look. And how wonderful to be able to recycle pallet wood, which will probably go to waste, and make something really great out of it. So you can see there, look, that's the before of the garden, and then that's the after up there as well. Really creative, Mrs. Stanlake, and thank you for sharing. Miss Curtis has been learning how to make teepees, and this is a fairy teepee that she's made. If we have a little zoom in, you can see, look, that she's sewn all the fabric and stitched it and made it to make this really, really lovely and adorable teepee. You can imagine lots of little fairies and dolls perhaps going in there for a little party. And I think that's lovely, Miss Curtis. Thank you for sharing. Miss Moyes has been doing lots of different things as well. She's been learning to do sewing and crafting herself. This is a skirt that she's made over half term. And not only that, she's been getting out on the water a lot as well and going up and down the rivers near where she lives. What a lovely thing to do in this lovely sunshine we've been having. Miss Aspden has been going for a run to the beach almost every single day. So it's about 6 miles, she reckons, to get to the beach and back. And she's doing that to keep really fit and to get her exercise in for the day, and also just to get close to the sea and get that lovely sea air when you go down there. So she's had a really busy half term. Mrs. Mason, now this is one to share. Mrs. Mason has been learning how to rear chicks from eggs. So if we zoom into the first picture, you might be able to see a little chick in the background that's just hatched. And then we've got a whole tray of chicks. And here is Miss Mason holding all the little chicks that have hatched. Aren't they the cutest little fluffy things you've seen? That's really lovely, those pictures. Thank you for sharing those, Miss Mason. It's really lovely to see those little chicks. Mrs. Loughlin has been getting really stuck into making things again. And she's made this lovely cake and this lovely bouquet of flowers. But what you may not realise is they're actually made of nappies, which is absolutely amazing. So she's making them for friends and family and to sell to people who are interested. And she's made these really detailed and lovely gifts almost made of nappies. I think that's a really creative thing to do. And thank you so much for sharing those, Miss Loughlin. It's really lovely to see as well. And Mr. Emery has been getting in the water. There's some pictures there of him actually surfing. Aren't those amazing photographs? And not only that, he's been really busy in his garden. So this is the garden he's moved into in his new house. You may notice there's not much in the way of grass there in that picture. But Mr. Emery has been seeding his lawn. He's been learning how to do lots of gardening. And that's now what his garden looks like. Isn't it wonderful to see that grass that he's made, the planters and everything else he's put in? It looks like he's been really, really busy over half term. Okay, so perhaps not quite our normal learning celebration assembly, but I think it's lovely to see what all of our staff at school have been getting up to. It reminds me particularly that everyone is learning, not only you guys at home, all of us as well, we're learning. We're using this time to perhaps practice a new skill or spend time with our families or whatever it may be. And it's a really nice chance to get a look and to see what people have been doing, I think. I said at the beginning of the assembly that I've got some exciting news about the rainbow art competition that Mrs. Turner and the PFA have been running. So, let's have a quick look before we finish for today at some of the wonderful things that you will be making for your rainbow art competition. Okay, we'll start off with reception and we'll have a look at the class winners and the overall winner for that year group. So, first up, well done to Luenna and Marion, because they have done these beautiful rainbow pictures. And there's Marion's one there. And a really big well done to Izzy, who is the overall winner for class 1 and 2. There's her rainbow there, stay safe for the NHS. Izzy, I really like the way you've put your lettering and you've added lots of little colours to each letter. You haven't just done one letter, one colour, you've put in loads of detail and set loads of time on that. So thank you, it's really lovely to see. In year 1, we've got 2 winners for each class and an overall winner. So first up in class 3, we've got Max and we've got Kobe. I'll give you a moment to have a look at their rainbow pictures. Beautiful. And then Isabella and Bo, have a look at their rainbow pictures there, aren't they lovely? And the winner for year 1 is Joseph. Here is Joseph's picture. Vibrant, colourful, bright. A huge, huge rainbow, Joseph, and that's exactly what people want to see in their windows, is that beautiful, bold colour. Thank you for sending those in year 1, and well done, Joseph, Max, Kobe, Isabella, and Bo. Okay, in year 2, let's have a look. We've got Layla and Isaac from class 5. Now, we've got one there on the inside of a shell, which is really interesting. And then we've got this beautiful rainbow flower raining these lovely rainbow colours, which is really lovely. Poppy and Joan, 2 beautiful rainbow pictures there as well. Well done, you 2. And the overall winner for year 2 is Hallie, who's made this one out of Lego bricks. You've got all the colours of the rainbow, it's vibrant, it's colourful, and very creative as well. Well done, year 2. Now, I don't think we have any entries for year 3, so we'll jump straight on to year 4. And in year 4 for class 9, we have Agnes and Ruby. They are the winners for class 9. Some really lovely rainbows. Class 10, we have Chris and Elsie. It's lovely how everyone's rainbow is really different, isn't it? And then the overall winner, Chloe, look at that one. Beautiful colours, all these hearts, the cotton wool clouds, everything about that makes you feel really happy and positive. So thank you, Chloe. That's lovely. In year 5, we have class 11, Danny and Edie. Again, 2 very different rainbows, 2 very beautiful rainbows. Class 12, we weren't sure about the names for class 12, so rather than putting the wrong name on, I've just put the 2 winners on there. Hopefully you'll recognise it and you can tell me who you are. So you've got 2 lovely pictures there. I like the collage on that one on the right-hand side. And the winner in year 5 is Lucy. Lucy has again done collage. She's cut out loads of bits of paper and card and made a really beautiful picture. Well done, Lucy, and everyone else in year 5. And then finally, heading into year 6, class 13, Zana and Corey, you are the 2 winners in class 13. Well done. Lovely, colourful, vibrant rainbows. And class 14, we've got Rebecca and Ronnie. Look at the one made of buttons and that beautiful eye. Really stunning pictures, year 6s. And the overall winner is Rocky. Now, I must admit, Rocky, it took me quite a while to work out what this actually was. I didn't know quite what made it. It looks like you've got a clear piece of plastic and you've coloured that in a rainbow, and then by using the light on a piece of paper, you photographed it in different angles, and it's made this really beautiful sculpture. It's incredible, it's really interesting, I really like that. So well done, year 6 as well. So, if you saw your rainbow shown on the screen then, well done to all of you. You are the winners chosen by Mrs. Turner. And thank you to everyone who entered. I know she had a huge amount of rainbows sent in, and I'm sure she wishes that everyone could have been chosen as a winner. But as these things are, sometimes we have to try and choose just a couple from each class. So apologies if you didn't see yours on there this time. So that about wraps up this week's Learning Celebration Assembly. Again, it's been very different. It's half term, I'm in a t-shirt, not a shirt. We had no pupil work, it was all staff work. But you know what, it's been really fun, and I hope you've enjoyed having a little glimpse into the lives of all of the teachers and teaching assistants and staff at Penpol School and seeing what we've been doing in our half term. Last week I set you the challenge of making a piece of origami. That challenge is still going, so if you haven't had a go yet, grab a single piece of paper, could be any colour, any size, and make something with it. It doesn't have to be a really elaborate swan type creation, it could be anything you like. One piece of paper, make something, and send it to me on Shobi in the class code on the screen now. You've got until next Thursday to do that, so you've got just under a week, and hopefully we'll see some of those paper origami sculptures next week in our Learning Celebration Assembly. So, that is it from me, boys and girls, and I will look forward to seeing you all next week, and I'll see you back here on Friday afternoon. Enjoy the weekend, take care, and I'll see you soon.